So there we go. I just cut up. This is petite medley potatoes. I like using these because you get all the colors and it just makes for a fun recipe. Right on top of that, so this is a Bertolli extra virgin olive oil. We're going to be doing about 2 tablespoons of this stuff, and we are going to season this so well. These potatoes are going to be amazing. So we're going to throw in a touch of garlic powder, some black pepper, some salt. There's something so satisfying about throwing a lot of seasonings into a dish, especially potatoes. I feel like they can hold a lot of seasoning, so you just got to make sure you throw a bunch of stuff in there. So right on top of that, we're going to be doing some paprika. And last but not least, so this is the Kinder's wood fire garlic. So this stuff is so amazing, especially when you're baking or roasting stuff. This stuff is a must. So once you have everything in there with your washed hands, we're just going to give this a nice mix. We just want to make sure that every potato is covered in the seasonings. And you can see that I cut them up into like these bite-sized pieces, which is very important. Once we have these all mixed, we're going to be throwing these in the air fryer. So here I have my little air fryer tray that I sprayed with some non-stick cooking spray. We're just going to toss these right in there. And these are going to crisp up so nicely. So this is going to be at 400 degrees for 20 minutes. So while we have our potatoes cooking in the air fryer, this gives us a chance to work on some ground beef. So I'm just going to be throwing a pound in here. We're just going to break this up and cook it until everything is nice and brown. So once you have some nice color on your ground beef, this isn't finished cooking yet, but at this point we are going to be throwing in, so this is half a white onion. And I'm going to leave the juices in here from the beef. Normally I would take it out with a paper towel, but I really want the onions to soak up that awesome juice. It's going to give it a ton of flavor. We're also going to throw in a can of Rotel tomatoes. I did drain this stuff, so I want the tomatoes and the onions to just soak up all of this ground beef juice, and it's going to taste so amazing. So we're going to give everything a quick mix just to make sure it all fits in the pan. And for the only seasoning we're going to use for this beef, so this is the Kinder's no salt, garlic, and herb. This stuff tastes super amazing, and we're just going to keep that theme of like garlic and herbs with the potatoes as well. So I'm going to throw a bunch in there. We're going to give this a quick mix until it is finished cooking. So there we go, just like that. After about a few minutes of cooking, everything is nicely mingled. And we're just going to leave this on low. The potatoes are almost done cooking. It's about 4 minutes left. So I'm just going to leave this on low, and then we'll be right back. So here we have our awesome potatoes. You can see that the air fryer crisped them up so nicely. Ooh, I just love this thing. It's so convenient. So I'm just going to give these a quick spread. Oh my God, these actually came out looking so amazing. So I'm just going to line the bottom of my 13 by 9. And right after we take them out, so I'm going to do some fresh Parmesan cheese on top. So this is going to add a ton of flavor, and the heat from the potatoes is going to melt this over so nicely. So I'm going to do a bunch of this stuff just because I really love fresh Parmesan. It is some of my favorite. So I'm just going to make it snow cheese. Okay, beautiful. So right after we do that, here I have that ground beef, onion, and Rotel mixture. We're going to pour this right on top. So this is why I left some of the meat juices in there, because you can see that the onions and tomatoes really soaked everything up, and it is just gonna give it so much flavor. So we're gonna pour these right over the potatoes. So the potatoes is like the base for our recipe. And once we have everything smoothed out, I'm gonna come in with, so you're gonna wanna get a white queso dip. So I picked up this one from the grocery store, and we're just gonna pour this right on top. You can see that this queso dip is just nice and velvety. It is such a nice creamy sauce. I love using it. I'm just gonna take that same rubber spatula just to kind of grab the edges and just make sure that we really clean this can out, because we don't want to waste any of this stuff. It is so awesome. So again, once we do that, we're just gonna give this a quick mix, or a quick smooth over, sorry. We just wanna make sure that the whole dish is covered. I also have my oven preheating at 350 degrees because we're gonna stick this back in there just to make sure that everything cooks together and we just have a nice cohesive dish. So once I get this last little bit here, I am gonna top it with just a little bit more cheese, just some of this Colby Jack. I'm telling you, I just really want a bunch of different flavors in here, but I'm not gonna do too much, just enough so once we put it in the oven, this is just gonna give it like a nice cheesy layer. So just like that, and this is gonna go at 350 degrees for about 15 minutes. So there we go, just after 15 minutes in the oven, you can see how amazing this looks. There's something so satisfying about having such a cheesy and meaty dish. So I'm gonna serve myself in this bowl. I'm just gonna take this ladle, make sure to scoop up a bunch of those potatoes. That's gonna be the real star of this show. So this is looking so amazing. We have a mix of the white queso and the Colby Jack cheese. I'm super excited to try this one. Oh my God. So I'm gonna be using a spoon for this because it is so cheesy. I just wanna make sure I scoop up every last little bit. So this is extremely hot, be very careful. Oh my God. I already cannot wait to make this again. This is so delicious.